What is up, everybody? It's your boy Church Price. I'm here again in my bed that I said I wasn't going to keep doing videos in because it sucks and they're just short, little, quick ones. But it's just so much easier when I get off of work to not have to move things around in my room and set it up and find everything. When I can just record it with my laptop, it's quick, little, short, little, gimpy stuff that I like to do. We're just gonna go right into it today. Oh, it's just shaky so much, man. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to deal with the shaky cam. I move my hands a lot, and my laptop's sitting on my penis. So, my deboner can only hold it up so can only keep it so stable. So there's just a couple things I wanted to talk about today. Just little gimmicky things that I just we have things in my head that I just want to voice out into the interwebs, the open webs. Number one, where do the lasers go from the space battles of Star Wars? Because here's what I mean by that. Because it sounds a bit odd. Bit odd. It sounds a bit odd. It sounds a bit odd when you first say it, but here's what I mean. In the giant space battles when they're doing the aerial combat like in space and everything, and you see the lasers go pew 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 pew. That's too long. Pew pew. Not all of them hit the other people they're shooting at. Some of them just seem to like go off into the void of space. And it's not like Battlefield where like you shoot a rocket in midair and then it just disappears after a while, or like something like that in a video game. The lasers just sort of keep going. They've never specified if they dissipate or if they just disappear or they just sort of like go poof out of existence, which would make no sense anyway because they're like lasers made of plasma, I guess. Not plasma. It's just like a laser beam. I don't know what it is or what, like I don't know. But like they never disappear. They just keep going over for like forever and ever and ever. So in my head, I'm thinking, the space is forever. Space is infinite, right? That laser has to eventually come upon something, right? Like it has to. Basically, what I'm getting is how many people do you think have died from like I don't know what the word is, but laser fire from a space war that just doesn't hit the plane, but it hits the planet. I was talking to my buddies the other day, and they're smarter than me. So one of them said if it is plasma, it would sort of just disappear in space because of how space works. I don't get how that meant. But the other one said if it were to enter a planet's atmosphere, the gravity of that planet would slow the laser down enough to the point where it really wouldn't do much damage anyway. It would just be like a little, like if it was on Tatooine, it would just like poof up a little bit of sand or whatever, which is a good point. But I don't like that science because it ruins my epic theory that these people are destroying planets without even knowing they're destroying planets. It's just like how many casualties have came from a space battle, especially when you're fighting the giant starships, the ones that look like giant Doritos, the giant triangle ones the Empire had, and they got the turrets on the bottom. Get ready for shaky cam. But this is probably what it looks like in the turret. And they're going, and they're like just launching millions upon millions of fucking lasers down, and they're like near a planet. You have to think some of them are going down and just murdering people. It's fucked. Like, why are you doing this? But that's the one thing. I'm gonna probably do a better one on that when I just look into it a bit more and finish writing for it. But it just boggles my mind. I just see these space battles and everyone else is like, "Oh, cool! Luke just shot down 4 TIE fighters," or they're about to take down the Star Destroyer, or oh no, Palpatine's back and he's got a million of them. I don't even have time to get into that bullshit. But but I'm always looking at the space battles now, and I'm like, where are those lasers going? Like what are they doing? What are those goofy little lasers up to? And they come in all these different colors: red, blue, green, sometimes yellow, maybe. I don't have. Is there lasers? Do the lasers follow the same thing as the lightsabers? If you shoot a red laser, you're like a Sith. You shoot a green laser, you're like with the Force, right? That's how the colors work with the lasers. Who knows? That's even more question that it's not the ones I'm getting into right now. Okay, we're moving on. Next question: How do Hera and Ahsoka sleep? Like they got the little things on their head, the little tentacle things that like just look very uncomfortable when you would try to lay down your head. Ahsoka's especially because they hang like they go up and off. Like I guess they might be soft and they kind of act more as a cushion for you when you go to bed. So it's like me with my little pillow right here. It's like little cushion or whatever like that. But still, like then you like imagine if you move a lot in your sleep, and then Hera just is laying there. She does her side. She's gotta feel so odd with her little things coming off her head. Like, it has to be bothersome, you know? And I don't think they've ever shown it to us. I don't think there's ever been a thing of these people sleeping. You know what I mean? And if by the way, even with the space, like, if this has been mentioned and this has been brought up before, by all means, please let me know because I would very much like to know. And these are just things that I think about that have no actual meaning to do with Star Wars. There's this; they're not plot relevant. They're completely just bonkers bonkers thoughts that I just randomly get while watching these shows. So just feel free to leave it down below of if these things have been stated and these things have been explained because I would very much like to know that. I am questioning them. So yeah, how do they sleep? It just looks awkward to me. It just looks awkward from a like our point of view how they would even go about doing that sort of thing. So either they're like constantly sleep deprived, and that's probably why Ahsoka is such like a median, like she's got resting bitch face all the time, and Hera keeps making dumb decisions, or or they do sleep, and I was right, and it is like a little cushion. But here's the thing with the little cushion thing: it's part of their skin, like it's part of their body, which means it's flesh, and it means it like can do like I don't know. I wouldn't want to be laying on my flesh, like my ears, but I guess they're not ears. What are they even? Like they're just little alien things, and it just I just look at them. I'm like, how do you get a restful sleep at night, bro? Like you run the New Republic basically, Hera. You're a general. Like how don't you need your rest? Ahsoka, you're a fucking great Jedi. You're trained by Anakin. He must have said that to teach you need rest. How are you going to bed? I just want to know. Next question. This is the final one that I want to talk about. And technically, I already got my explanation. I was like the buddies I mentioned before. One of them mentioned in a lot comic books or whatever a long, long time ago was explained. But I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna take that and just get rid of it for the sake of my interest. So, do you think there was a point in time in the Star Wars universe where space travel didn't exist? There has to be, right? Like it had to be invented somehow, which means it had to not exist to be invented. What and my buddy he brought up the fact that technically blah 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 some wormhole thing happened in our galaxy and sucked the Earth into the Star Wars galaxy and did all this stuff and when we did, but that doesn't even really encapsulate what I'm trying to like get at with this question. Like, yeah, okay, cool. The Earth got sucked in a wormhole and became part of the Star Wars universe. But still, what I'm trying to get at is space travel before it existed in Star Wars. How would that have looked? Because you would think you have these crazy looking aliens in Star Wars. You have people that look like fish, you have people that look like little tentacle monsters. You have that one weird like seaweed pirate guy in Mando season 3, and you have all these different range of characters like Ahsoka's people, Hera's people, and then you have like regular ass humans and everything. But were they all like stuck on their own planets? Like, did they all just have their own separate planet and they looked at other planets like we look at them now? And we're just like, huh, I wonder if someone else is living up there and if they look just like me. Did they do that? Is that a thing that happened in Star Wars? It's never mentioned. It doesn't need to be mentioned because Star Wars is Star Wars. We're just supposed to take it as it is and be like, oh, okay, this is the universe that we're given, which it is. It's good universe. I personally I love Star Wars stuff. The prequels, impeccable. I will not let anyone tell me different. They are great. Oh, I love them. That Darth Maul fight makes me. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's so good. It makes me it. Oh, I was gonna say it makes me come. I've been a bit weird, but it does. Oh, everywhere, all the time. But like I love Star Wars, and they don't need to explain this. It just has me thinking of like how life was before space travel was invented, and then imagine what would happen when it was invented. What was the first spaceship in Star Wars? Was it like our universe where it was just like a giant little dildo tube that goes up, or was it an X-wing or a Tie fighter or something? And then that evolves into the Star Destroyers and all that sort of stuff, and the Death Star. Like, how did we get to where we were now? I want to know that exactly. Like, I want to know how we got to this technological age that we were at in Star Wars, because their technology is obviously advanced. They can use hyperspace travel, they can go to different planets, they can do light speed jumping. They have droids that have millions upon millions of languages in them. They have droids that can fix ships and pilot ships. They have Beskar armor, which is impenetrable armor. They shoot lasers. They have fucking laser swords. You know, it's just so advanced, and I want to know exactly how we got to that point. I want to see Star Wars pre-advanced era. You know, like when they were in the sticks and everything. I just think it'd be really cool. Not only is it a cool question to ask and cool to think about, like how the world was before. Like, was there mixed species of aliens on these planets always, or did that only happen after space travel was invented? Were humans on Tatooine living with the giant flea flying monster that had Anakin as a slave? Was he always there? Was his people a part of Anakin's people, or were did Anakin's people, or did humans, not Anakin's people, I guess, this is just human, did humans come to that planet and then they became slaves and the bug creatures are already there? Where the fuck is Jabba the Hutt from and everything like that? You know, there's just so much about it that just seems so interesting that they can do with it. And knowing Disney, they'll fuck it up and they'll just make it so stupid. But it it's just in my head. It's just an interesting question to ask. It's just an interesting thing to think about with the Star Wars universe and how it's been built up and everything. And I really do want to know. Like, this is probably the one question that has half joking, half serious, because I would genuinely would love to see exactly how we ended up where we are. So, I think that's about it. Uh, those were it. This was me testing it out again. I'm pretty sure this camera is really good. I can see it just is very very shaky, and I'm gonna need to remedy that somehow next time I try to do this. But it's also very loose on top of the camera, so I'm sorry if that was distracting and if that made you vomit. If your motion sickness kicked in during any of this, it's my bad. I apologize. But I hope you enjoyed watching if you did, and I hope you will leave. If you have any answers, like I said, leave them down below. Give me an explanation. Oh, sorry. Give me an explanation if you have one. I would love to hear it. I love to hear different people's viewpoints on things, even though I'm sometimes a little hater, critic hater. That I won't. That doesn't matter here. But oh no, I got hiccups. I had to yeah, I appreciate you watching if you did, and I hope you have a good day. And bye.